probably even felt that way with the halftime show because everybody celebrated the fact that it was these two women. But best I can tell, it was two women pretty much from similar cultures. I mean, they did bring in the Colombian, I think he was Colombian, the Colombian rapper, but a lot of it was Puerto Rican based. It wasn't a lot of some of the other cultures that were involved. And I know that there were probably some people in the Latin American community that would have liked to have seen a, if it was going to be a Latin American celebration at the Super Bowl, they probably would have liked to have seen a wider celebration.
Yeah, that celebration of the Super Bowl was epic. It was beautiful. Um, it does represent a lot of the Latinx community. Um, Me as Brazilian, I felt represented. Of course, if I could select something else, I would. We have, some other amazing artists, but I understand that it needs to please, the majority of the people who watch the NFL. And they are not much Latinos. They are more, white and black folks that enjoy um, Super Bowl. So their TV wouldn't be turned off just because of their position that I would like to see. So definitely, that performance definitely put open eyes of a lot of people to what is out there that we appreciate, but we just don't know or don't care to search and look for. And that is one of the things that here, with my business now, I'm trying to do, create an option for people to go out and get educated, connect, network, and have fun. With my monthly events is like one of the things that I do to provide a space for Latinos to come together, especially with Brazilians to come together, network, and people who love Brazilian culture but doesn't have the funds to go to Brazil or is just disconnected from the Brazilian culture or haven't been to Brazil once but is disconnected today, to have a space where they can go and speak the language, listen to the music, eat the food, try the drinks, and be connected to the culture like in an authentic way.
Yeah, definitely. And just out of curiosity, what is your own personal favorite among those Brazilian drinks and those Brazilian food? Because y'all do have a rich variety of foods and flavors, and I imagine that your favorite might not be the favorite of somebody else from Brazil. But what is Caique's personal favorite?
I'm sorry, it cut a little bit. Personal favorite what?
But in terms of the food and the drinks that come from your rich country of Brazil.
Oh, well, so that is a food called cozido, which is a big stew with multiple types of meat and vegetables. This is my favorite food. It's really hard to do it here because you don't have all the vegetables that we use in Brazil. We grow some vegetables that is nowhere else in the planet. But this is my number one. Also, there is a bean stew called feijoada, which also carries a lot of meat and beans, black beans or pinto beans, and is one of the trademark of Brazilian culinary. And this is a food that it's just slavery food. It's the leftovers of whatever the cow was left behind. The Eskimo people took that, add beans, add spices, and create a magnificent food that is no person that can go, experiment, try, and not fall in love with it.
Wow. Sounds like a delicious meal. I might have to try that sometime myself. Unfortunately, I don't think, are there any current Brazilian restaurants in the Durham area that are actually good and authentic Brazilian food anywhere in the Triangle? Or am I hoping beyond hope that we have that?
Well, there are the Brazilian steak houses, but they modify so much of the food that it doesn't taste like Brazilian food. It's one of my dreams actually to open up Afro-Brazilian cuisine and provide these other spices and tastes of Brazil that people are not aware of. But the only thing you can find around here is Brazilian steakhouse.
and that would not be the same thing, unfortunately. I agree that sometimes those restaurants that are those kind of steakhouse restaurants are not the same that you would usually want and everything. So, talk a little bit about the Brazilian music and what, in your mind, how you would describe Brazilian music. You did a little bit, but if you would get into a little bit further explanation as to what the history of Brazilian music is and how it was formed.
So, as I mentioned before, it's a big fusion of Portuguese, indigenous, and African music. But the big chunk of the Brazilian culture, the groove lives in the African rhythm. Over here in America, drumming was not allowed, or there was a day in a week that you could go to the Congo Street and perform, drums and this stuff like that. I think in New Orleans. In Brazil, drumming was allowed. The religion was not, but we found ways to disguise the African roots of our religion and mix with the Catholicism. And that was the start of everything. Since we could not praise to the gods and goddess with drums, we create music that will resemble the spiritual rituals, and we will dance to it and just name something different. And that was how samba came to life. Samba is completely a religious. It was a religious rhythm. It has roots in the religious rhythm of Yansan or Yak, and it was just modified to disguise the dance that people want to manifest for the goddess. That was a big start. After that, Portuguese. Of course, there was a lot of Portuguese people, musicians who appreciated the richness of the Brazilian, the African rhythm. So they start bringing the instruments, the European instruments, and start playing with African drums. And that is how samba started to have melodic shape and harmonic shape as well. And from samba, I can assure you, from samba came bossa nova, came all the other rhythms that is performed in Brazil right now, including maracatu. There's some other sertanejo and forró that is also come from a African tradition in music.
Yeah, definitely, and you definitely can hear that African tradition in the music whenever you have played with your group and everything, because you've had a couple of different groups here in the Durham area and have your current group and everything. So tell folks about the event that's monthly, where it's held at, and what days it's held on, and also a little bit about the carnival and the day that it will be taking place. I think it's this weekend, but if you give people a little bit of the details as to the monthly one as well as the big one that'll be coming up later on.
So the carnival in Brazil starts Thursday, 2 weeks, and I always host the carnival event here the same day the carnival in Brazil, so we can have the feeling of being Brazil, being part of the celebration, because carnival is a big celebration that brings communities together. The event will happen on the 22nd of February at Rhythms Live Musical Hall, right next door to Scrap Exchange. It starts at 8 p.m. We will have this year 5 performances. Inside of the venue, we will have dance classes, so we can introduce to people, dance movements, and everybody can get, ready to enjoy the night and feel comfortable moving along with other Brazilians. We will have Oshente performing drumming outside and doing a small parade in front of the space. I will have my band performing inside. I have Samba Jovem, which is a Brazilian samba band that is like the only Brazilian samba band in Southeast. Uh, the Samba Jovem performing with us. We have the ladies from North Carolina Brazilian Arts Project perform with us, and a DJ from São Paulo coming to perform with us as well. And one thing that I like to just bring attention to everybody listening, we try to make this event as many like bring this event as many people that respect the roots of Brazilian culture. Right now, the dancers that will perform with us, they are in Brazil getting trained by masters of dance in Rio de Janeiro and Bahia. They have been there since December to get training. And I really appreciate when I see people getting out of the comfort zone and going to Brazil to learn the roots, the culture, and bring back something that is more close to the traditional way of doing it. So this is one of the things that I'm really happy and proud of, is to really have a space where people can experience the real carnival, how we do things in Brazil. It's exactly how you're going to experience February 22nd at Rhythm Live.
Sounds great.
The monthly events take place at the West End Wine Bar. It is more like a social gathering in which we have food being served, special drinks being made, inspired by the Brazilian flavors, and live music. And it happens every single Saturday of the month, starting in March. So we go from March all the way to October. All the way to October, providing these events. That is a space for people to network and get close to the Brazilian culture.
Sounds wonderful. It sounds like it's a weekly event, so folks can definitely make it. I did not make it last year to any of them because of my own crazy schedule, but I have pledged to you this time that I'm actually going to make it to a few of them over there at the West End Wine Bar so I can enjoy some of that activity and enjoy some of that fine music and that fine culture that you definitely are a proponent of and a big supporter of. And I see Caique, Dean, I see Caique every Sunday because Caique, in addition to doing a variety of things, he is also a sound man. So he does the sound for Christ Central Church, which is the church that meets out of the Hayti, one of the two churches now that meets out of Hayti every Sunday, and he handles a lot of the sound work with the gospel group that performs there on a regular basis. And if you actually come to a Sunday service, he may, on occasion, the church will let him slip in and do a little bit of drumming in the middle of their band that performs. So I'm always glad when I see that because that's like a special treat when he gets away from the soundboard and actually gives us a little bit of his drumming.
Yes, it's always a pleasure when I have the chance to add a little bit of my roots into the music of the Saints of Sparrow. They have definitely like a great gospel band, and every time they invite me to play, I feel so happy to be able to play for God and gods and goddess. So I feel that what they do is really like bringing in diversity into the celebration.
Definitely, and that's something that I've always wondered about, and because I've never understood. Were you raised in the? Because I know that there's variety of religions there. Were you raised in the Christian spirit, or were you raised in more of the traditional spirit, or do you consider yourself like more of just a spiritual person or religious person? I've never asked you that, Caique, so I'm asking you now.
So, no problem. So, I was baptized as Catholic, and I went to church a lot, Catholic church, and because the African, Candomblé, which is the African tradition, religion in Brazil, is mixed with Catholicism a lot. I kind of jumped back and forth from one to the other, but I grew up experiencing every single piece of spiritual connection that I had the chance to. My mom made sure that I was exposed to all variety of religions, and today I consider myself to be a spiritual person. I don't follow one single doctrine. I think that is, if that is good in everything, and if God is every space. I cannot, sit quiet